How good are you at receiving? That is going to be the underlying theme for today's video. I'll be chatting a little bit about receiving, and then I will share a meditation with you to open your receiving channels. Now, you might think, what on earth is she talking about? So I'll give you a little bit of background so you understand why I'm talking about this, and most importantly, why this is particularly relevant at this moment in time where we find ourselves on the planet. So welcome to my channel. I'm Jacqueline Atkins, if you haven't met me before, and I channel a group of beings who call themselves the Rose Line, and there are actually 44 that I channel. Mostly here on YouTube, I stay with the main 11 oracles of the Rose Line. One of them will come in today, one you may not be familiar with, although you may know her name. We are also going to be chatting about the energy and the frequency of the silver rose today. The silver rose is going to be part of this receiving. So if you aren't subscribed to my channel, I would really appreciate if you subscribe so you're notified of when I post a video. I have chosen not to monetize this channel so that you are not inundated with ads that change the energy of what's coming through me. And I think ads can be really disruptive for that. So in exchange, I do appreciate you if you subscribe, if you like the video or leave any comments. That form of exchange I will receive. Thank you in advance for that. So let's get on to this topic. This topic is very dear to my heart. Several years ago, I had a Patreon group called the Receiving Channel. And the reason I began that group, at the time I was working with female entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, mostly with online businesses, and I was doing a lot of energy work. I was reading their energy body and the energy body of their business. And the message I was sharing at that time was how to have an intuitively led business rather than the yang model of business that we've been fed and we've been trying to adapt to. And the more I looked at the energy bodies of the entrepreneurs and their business, I say, look, I'm clairvoyant, so I was using my clairvoyance. And the more I looked, I saw how blocked they were. I'm saying this generally, not everyone, but how common it was to have blockages. And I'd often see them at the back of the heart chakra, but they could be at the back of other chakras. And the way I interpreted that is the back is where we would receive and the front is where we would give. And so many of these women had such high hopes for their business and for their life and for manifesting what they wanted. But they were blocked up in their receiving channels, in receiving it. It was all very well and good to put it out there, but how open are you to receiving something? So as I talked more about this yin way to be in business, that led me to set up this particular Patreon group. And then that group actually evolved from the receiving channel into the Roseline channel, because then I received a couple, really, I think the channel had been going for about a year and I received such clarity, like now it's time to fully focus on the Rose Line. So I did that shift, and of course that's moved and evolved into what my business is now, which is purely about the Rose Line energy. However, this week, the receiving energies come up again. And it began Monday morning. I was sitting in my little spot out there on the property where I go and watch the sunrise. I can see out to the ocean and I watch the sunrise there with my morning coffee. And that's my contemplation and connect with nature time. It's the highlight of my day. I can't wait to go to bed so that I can wake up and do that. Anyway, what came to me that morning was this idea of receiving. Excuse me. And I think it was triggered by, I used to be a teacher on Insight Timer, and a lot of my meditations from those days of business energy are still on Insight Timer. So if you ever want, if you have your own business and would love to know more about the energy of business, all my meditations are on there. I had a podcast at the time called Biz Alchemy. Most of those episodes are on there. And there is a meditation on there called Open Your Receiving Channels. And someone had left a comment about it and how helpful it was. And that was sort of in my mind. And I was like, oh, how interesting that's really stood out for me. And as I was sitting contemplating, I was shown that with the changes on the planet right now, we must adapt and open new receiving channels, because our old ways of receiving, and this could be material receiving, financial receiving, emotional receiving, you name it, some of those old ways and those old channels we've relied on, we will not be able to rely on in this new world we're creating. Well, not because of the new world we're creating, but because of the old world that has to be crumbled, destructed, dismantled for the new to birth. And so some of those channels that we had very fixed ideas about and that we held quite rigidly may not be available to us anymore. But that's nothing to be fearful of, because there are plenty of other channels. We've just never been open to them. So that's what came through to me. And then interestingly, that night I was holding my call with the priestess of the Rose Temple group. We've almost finished our 3-month training. This was our second last call. And we were focused on the Earth Star chakra. And the silver rose guides that initiation. And the rose line being is Galadriel, the queen of the elementals. She is the guardian of that particular initiation in this priestess training. And so I was really tuning in with the silver rose, and the silver rose is the rose of magnetism. It is out of all the roses, I work with 11 as we go through the initiations. Out of all of them, it is the most yin rose, because it is fully receptive. It just magnetizes in. It's very powerful. And so we were talking a lot in that call and being guided by Galadriel to really focus on this, on opening our receiving channels. As we've worked through the initiations, we have been focusing a lot on what we are creating in our life and utilizing the frequency of the rose energy to bring it into creation. And so this chakra at the bottom, the Earth Star, is like the full magnet to draw that in. So I was very immersed in that energy on Monday, and I really felt that I wanted to share this more generally for 2 reasons. One, because I think if you really tune in to how open you are to receiving, and how open you are to receiving through channels outside of your expected channels of receiving, you'll find that you're quite closed down in that. And secondly, because things are changing on the planet, and we must be open to receiving in ways we had not expected to. This is really, really important, and probably is the foundation of what this video is about and what the meditation's about. However, I wanted to give you that background to get you to start thinking. And in that time with the receiving channel, what I realized is that I've already mentioned that we set our intentions. We say, I want this in my life. This is my dream. I want this dream home. I want this dream relationship, whatever it is. But we expect it to come in a certain way. And when it doesn't, it's like, well, that didn't work. So that's one thing. And also, we can hold energetic blocks about worthiness, about whether that is possible in our world. They might be karmic memories, ancestral memories that energetically are blocking that thing coming to us. And then we just give up on the whole manifestation process, the whole creation process, and say, well, that didn't work. But how open were you to actually receiving that thing in your life? And this is something that's really important to visit and to tune into internally. And worth is a big part of it. The solar plexus can hold a lot of denser energy that blocks receiving. And if you were raised in the Catholic Church, as I was, you may have said over and over when you went to a mass, Lord, I am not worthy to receive you. Right? That's one of the prayers that you say. It's one of the responses. You're saying that over and over again. And here we are in this abundant universe. Our feminine aspect is a receiving aspect. This is a major part of the feminine way. That our masculine aspect gives, our feminine aspect receives. And we might think that, well, hang on, giving is very feminine because it's nurturing. It is, as long as you are nurtured as well. That's a balanced giving, because then you are receiving while giving. However, if you are giving, which is a yang energy, and receiving nothing from it and getting depleted, then that's completely out of balance. That is not in harmony. You are not receiving. So there is a balanced way of giving so that you are also receiving. Then they're in harmony. And then you can go to basics about receiving. If someone gives you a compliment, now you may have worked on this and said, oh, I can smile and say thank you now, whereas once I would bat it off. Maybe you still bat it off. However, it's not about just smiling and saying thank you. Can you receive that in? Can you receive that in and really feel it through your being? And in the receiving channel, we used to practice this, like even receiving the sunlight on your skin. Not just, oh, I feel the sunlight on my skin, but receiving it in. I'm sure in the background at the moment, you might be able to hear some sounds coming through. It might be my chimes. The wind is quite noisy. You might hear some birds. And when you focus on those sounds, can you receive them into your energy body? As opposed to just hearing them, receiving them. And you'll realize as you go through your day how much comes to you that you do not receive. Now, of course, you don't want to be receiving distorted energies or denser energies. But that is where, as one of my clients says, the sacred no is important. Like, oh, no, that is not okay for me. And you put the boundary down, but in putting the boundary down to what is not okay for you to receive, it actually opens the channel for you to receive what is okay. So it's important that you also can hold a boundary and say, no, that is not okay. Because it's like then your energy matches what is okay. So I just wanted to clarify that. I'm not saying you're a sponge and receive absolutely everything that comes to you. However, we live in an abundant universe. Everything is there for us. And there are an infinite number of ways that we can receive. Infinite. And money is a perfect example. So where do you receive your money from? I receive it from my business. I might receive a little bit of interest. I might get some dividends on your stocks or whatever it is, shares. And they might be like, that's my channels. That's my channels. Oh my gosh, what if one of those goes? Oh my gosh. You know, we're so focused. But there are infinite channels. Are you open to those other channels? Because you are going to find, as we co-create this new earth, it is going to be because of those other channels. Those other channels are going to bring magic to us. That's probably why Galadriel is also here with her elemental magic. And she'll often talk about that, about how at the elemental realm, which have had to draw back because of the density on Earth, and they're existing more in Middle Earth, and will be much more apparent again as our frequency matches that frequency of Middle Earth. But she will often say, like, there's no such thing as manifesting or creating in that realm because they just live that. That is their frequency. So, and they are fully open to receiving completely in that frequency. So that's why the elemental realm is so often associated with magic, because that's it. That's the existence. And this can be our way. And as we co-create this new reality here, inside ourselves, this will become the outer reality as well. So remember the magic in these times when there is a crumbling of the old. Remember the magic that we can create exactly what we want, but remain open to how you receive that. So let's go into a brief meditation. I say that, I don't even know what the meditation is going to be yet, so it might be really long, but I feel like it won't be too long. We'll go into a meditation with the silver rose and Galadriel. I've just spotted a card. I did draw a card before this call. This is from Rebecca Campbell's Healing Waters deck, I think it's called. I felt to draw water because water is the yin energy, and for me, water and receiving goes hand in hand. And the card I drew, it's quite beautiful. It's Isle of Avalon, healing, returning to wholeness, transformation. Returning to wholeness. This is a part of that wholeness. Our programming to give, 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 give. We are returning to wholeness of how to receive. And I love that this is in Avalon. And you've got a picture there of the tour. I am holding a retreat in Glastonbury in July around Mary Magdalene's feast day. And it's the only one of my retreats that still has a few places left. So that is a reminder for me to mention that. I will not be holding a retreat in Glastonbury again, certainly not in the foreseeable future. And in fact, at this point, I feel like I possibly won't be holding retreats in Europe next year. So that Glastonbury one would be your last chance to come and have a magical retreat with me and receive, because that land, if you can open to receiving the codes and the abundance in that land, the memory of that land, and particularly the Magdalene codes that are going to be coming through during that retreat, through the waters, through the red spring, through the white spring. Oh, so much magic. So anyway, receiving the frequency of this card, healing, returning to wholeness and transformation, because we are indeed undergoing a transformation, but you must receive it. So closing your eyes. And take your focus into your heart. And feel yourself being held by your heart. Held in love. Aware that your heart is guiding you all the time. It is the whisper of your higher self comes through your heart. Do you receive it? The love that sits in your higher heart, or in your heart, that is your heart. Do you receive it? And then take your focus down to your feet and focus on the balls of your feet, where your feet chakras are, and see them open and feel Mother Earth's energy just rush up into you. She's there all the time. Do you receive her energy? Do you receive her support? Do you receive her love? And then bring your focus to the other end. Bring it to your crown. Feel your crown open. Feel the connection to your guides, to your higher self, to source. Feel those channels. Do you receive through here? Or do you receive a little bit, but not open to the fullness of this? Because maybe you don't feel worthy. Maybe you are just following a particular paradigm that you've been programmed in. And so you're only open to a certain frequency coming in here. And now just come into your body generally. And tune into your senses. Do you truly receive through your senses? That is what they are there for. But do you feel what they give you? Do you allow yourself to experience what they receive? The best way to come into the present moment is to tune into your senses and what you are receiving, what you are seeing, what you are hearing, what you are tasting, what you are feeling on your skin, what you're smelling. Receiving through these senses. That's their purpose. And then you go to the deeper senses, the inner knowing, the voice of your intuition, the guidance that comes from within you. Do you receive that guidance or override it with your mind? So now the silver rose has come in, and she's actually come in above you, hovering up in the soul star area she's sitting. And she is dropping her essence right through all of your chakras, right down into your earth star, down below your feet. You are being rained upon with this silver frequency, this beautiful yin energy, this magnetic energy. And as that moves through you, it is opening up the channels that you have not even considered. Channels of support. Perhaps it's financial support. Perhaps it's emotional support. Perhaps it's physical support in some other way. Receiving the blessings of this abundant universe, this abundant earth. Become aware of how many channels that flow into your energy body are just blocked up. And you might just rely on a handful to receive through. Can you receive love? Truly receive love. There are so many things we do not allow ourselves to fully receive. Perhaps it's a smile from a stranger. Can you receive that through your being, or do you avert your eyes? A kind gesture. Do you say, oh no, I'm fine, I can do it? Or do you allow yourself to receive that? All of these things are the universe speaking to you, giving you an opportunity to receive. And if you say no to that, what else are you saying no to? So just feel that beautiful silver rose energy right through your being, through all of your chakras and energy body, activating this beautiful magnetic yin energy, the highest vibration. So you are receiving in through all channels, all that is aligned with your heart, with your service, with your reason for incarnating. And then become aware of the magical Galadriel. Her energy is in front of you. In fact, her energy is all around you, but you may perceive her in front of you. Beautiful child of the rose. I come to you from a magical realm that in fact is not magical. It is the realm of reality. It is the realm of blessed abundance. It is the true realm of creation and the true realm of Mother Earth, a realm that humanity has closed its eyes to. But in this exciting time of dismantling the structures that held your eyes closed, your eyes will begin to open again. You will become aware of channels you could not conceive of. But you must be ready to accept these channels. Without knowing what they are, can you hold yourself in a state of openness? Feeling within your heart that which you truly desire. Unity, peace, love, abundance. The beautiful foundations of this new paradigm. The potential is there. And if you can hold that within your being, the channels to receiving this will open. Oh, you will be surprised what comes into your life so that you can receive all that you desire. It is really quite magical. So if you find yourself fixed on a channel, expecting it to deliver something that you wish to receive, place the silver rose in the channel instead. The silver rose will expand the channel out. It will make way for other channels. And it will receive in at the frequency of that which you wish in your life. Many of the channels you have in place are in alignment with the denser frequency that came from the patriarchal structures. Feel that in your being, feel the truth of that, but also be aware of your attachment to that. And that is not surprising. It is all you've known. And you have been programmed to believe that that is your safety and security. That is the only way that you can manage in this earthly life. There is so much more. There is so much more, and it is coming to you, but you must be open to receive it. You must be open to the magic. You must be open to change. You must be open to letting go of those old channels. No longer be attached to them. It does not mean that they will not keep functioning, but do not put your focus solely on them. Put your focus on the channels of magic, the unknown channels, the channels of trust, the channels of this new earth. And then let the alchemy begin. Hute saran lepue, harane sua meate, hunea karane sito alia puenedo, ahane sito a mueneaka, akura bedea nesea naka, hu puesteata, ahane sua agia ranta. Horaneta spiola atia. Atia deka. Silver rose blessings to you. Please let me know in the comments below any insights you've had from this journey with the silver rose and Galadriel. How this landed with you. How are you at receiving? I would love to hear about your experience and maybe how this has opened you up to new ways. Thank you so much for watching, for listening, and I will see you again very soon. Rose blessings to you.